So I watched the Invincible TV animated series, and I did have a little background about what this was going to be. I knew that it was about superheroes, that it was pretty violent, and it was actually a great comic. I have to say, you can help but to compare to a similar TV series, which is The Boys, which is also about superheroes in a real world, or the real consequences of having these superheroes or aliens or demons on a real Earth. But the nice thing about the Invincible is that, given that it's animated, it doesn't pull punches on the gore, on the themes, on the epic action scenes. And it has so much potential, and I think the first season did a great job at showing how this rich universe, because it's a rich universe, is going to develop in the future. One thing that I like about this series is how the parody, I'm going to say parody, of the mainstream superheroes works with the Justice League version, the first one that we see in the first episode, a direct parody of the Justice League from DC. It makes like a little joke out of them, but it also gives them some backstory, some plot importance, and I think that's a really nice thing. One of the minor characters that for me is my favorite is the character that looks like Hellboy, that is like a demon detective. I think they're going to do more with him. I haven't read, the comics in detail, but I think that he's going to come back. I mean, he was a really good detective, good character in the few minutes that we had to know him. Another good point about this series is the music is great. I love every song that was there in the flying scenes of Invincible, of the character I mean. The music that they put on the background was top notch. Another thing is the creative way, or like the convenient way they introduce you the title drop. The title drop of Invincible. I don't know. A character is saying, "Okay, we have to search for," and instead of saying Invincible, they put you the Invincible title like. But with each episode, there is like a streak of blood that starts to spill into it. So you know that the series becomes more gory, more serious, and more violent. The plot continuity in this series, I think, is one of the best things here. There is no wasted plot points with wasted characters there. But the thing that I love most about Invincible is its rich lore. It's something that I realized when we watched the resurrection of Immortal Man, where those twins that actually are clones put their head in the body and they start, like to try to resurrect them. And you see the story about Immortal Man, and the moment that we saw that actually Immortal Man was Abraham Lincoln, I was like, what? That moment I said, oh my god, this series and this comics, I guess, knows what they're doing, has a plan, has a backstory. If they throw you a plot twist, is something that is intentional. And when you feel that is intentional, that is not something that they invented it at the last second, that's when you can perceive that this is a quality series. I honestly don't have any negative point to say. Some people said that the animation was pretty lucky, like pretty shoddy, like it seems too mainstream. But for me, I mean, the animation depends of what the product, what the series is about. For example, if you use this kind of animation into the Spider-Verse, the movie, yes, then you can say, no, the animation was lucky, wasn't right for that context. But for this context, for a TV series, and the animation style looks a lot like the comic, I think it's okay. Like, not everything has to be like anime level, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure animation for this to be like epic, for this to be good. I mean, maybe the animation looks like this, but the script is amazing. I mean, the story is amazing, the characters are amazing, and the violence and the action that we see here, I think it works, especially in the final episode, where it's the goriest, more violent, the more disturbing episode for me, because you see the real consequences of a big superhero fight that in a movie is like, okay, maybe the people are safeguarded, maybe they evacuate the city previously, but no, here you see how omni-man is a really messed up individual, and he grabs Mar by the head and push it onto an oncoming software train, and you can see all the corpses, like the blood. And that kind of shock wouldn't come if the animation was already like that. Do you understand me? Like, given that this animation is too mainstream, you are not expecting to see something like that, and when you see it, oh my god. So I think the animation actually is a good choice. Do I recommend this TV series? Hell yes. I'm really a sucker for superheroes, so I could be biased. I can't wait for season 2. So if you had a good stomach, I recommend you